We're borderline heretics. We're not outright heretics. At least I don't want to be.
I was talking to a friend of ours at CIU the other day, and I was talking about the podcast, and I was like, we're it's the Borderline Heretics podcast, and he's like, well, I might have a problem with that. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, are you actual heretics? I'm like, no, just borderline heretics.
We skirt that line.
It's
Everybody's a borderline heretic. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
No one understands everything fully. We say dumb things. I know I do. Some of you have heard those things.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's absolutely true. We're all just a little bit heretics.
I view this as a place where we are free to have an open discussion about things that a lot of orthodoxy would consider a taboo place to even consider.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so it's, having these conversations is important to figuring out exactly, well, what makes somebody a heretic and what makes somebody, not a heretic.
Yeah.
Because as one of my professors that I love dearly is a history course, he would always ask this question, well, who are the heretics? When you're looking through history, who are the heretics? And it was interesting to see how that definition changed throughout history it's pretty much, it's not a stationary definition. A lot of it really goes with the culture of the day by who's in power and what how strict the religion is going to be on the people. Now, I'm not saying that they're essentials to our faith, but when you're dealing with non-essential things, that's when you start getting into really dangerous territory, and that's what we got to talk about is the things that are non-essential to our faith and trying to make those essential and making things that are essential to our faith non-essential. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
To the culture of the day, again, with that definition of what is a heretic, I know we're getting way off subject here, but what is a heretic? If the culture of the day, say, kind of what we're going through, or at least starting to go through now, is with what we would call heretical Christianity, extremely progressive, the Bible is not authoritative, and they just kind of...
Everybody gets into heaven.
Universalism, all these other things. To us, or to them, we're the heretics because we're reading the Bible in Orthodox fashion.
Yeah.
And so they consider us heretics. And so really, heresy is kind of pushed out there by the people that are in power.
The great thing about this discussion that we've just had so far is this is what we're trying to promote, is this honest conversation about truth and about Scripture and about doctrine and about our Christian lives. And it's when we don't have these conversations that we don't grow. And we don't grow, and heresies are likely to spread when we don't actually have conversations about these things and just let them happen and let them be part of our day-to-day. None of that was in the prep beforehand, but it's good that we can have these kind of conversations, and that's my desire. That's our desire here at the Borderline Heretics, is that this kind of stuff would be commonplace for you listeners, that you would begin to have these kind of conversations, that you could just talk about these things. That's the whole goal of this podcast, is for conversations like these to start.